Today's lesson is learning from a professional country music singer. We're going to listen to and learn from Reba McEntire. Reba was born in 1955, and as we progress through this lesson, you're going to hear some wonderful tips that she gives to young musicians. She has over 40 years of experience in the music industry. If you're not familiar with Reba McEntire, if you know who Kelly Clarkson is, a younger performer in today's times, they have a song they did together called Because of You. Now, I just shared with you that Reba was born in a certain year. What is the answer to that question? Your options are 1940 or 1955. Please select your answer and hit the Submit button. What's her philosophy? Let's watch this video and listen to her tips that she gives to musicians.
I like to warm up in the shower in the morning. I do my little trills. I do my scales. Ayo, 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 ayo. I'm doing this master class for anybody who is interested in getting into the music business. Get some tips on my 40 years of experience being in the music business. We're going to be talking about how to sing, what to do while you're on stage, how to pick out a song. My checklist would be melody, lyrics, relatability. You got to be sincere and honest and sell it. You got to let them know that you're singing it to that camera, to me, and that audience. And now start over. All right. Right now, right here, I swear, girl, I want to kiss you everywhere. Oh my gosh, you know what you look like? Little mischievous boy. That's perfect. I love that. I've had lots of different situations: death, divorce, failures. The hardest lesson is that your job is to continue on and to do what you were meant to do in this life, and that's entertain, perform, sing, get on stage in front of thousands of people knowing your heart is broken. Show must go on. Well, I remember it all very well. Looking back, it was... We're going to take Fancy from the big production, break it down. I just want the acoustic players. You don't have to be the greatest singer in the world to go pursue singing. If you find the song that matches your ability, you could have a monster hit. Everything I know now, I wish I had known when I got started in 1976. Country music is about what people live day to day. It's their life story, all written in a song. I'm Reba McEntire, and this is my master class.
Fancy is just one of her many songs. My favorite song by Reba McEntire is The Nights the Lights Went Out in Georgia. You should definitely listen to some of her music and see if there's a song that you can relate to or one that you just enjoy listening to. Now, in the video we just watched, she shared her checklist with us. So look at the question here and mark which one are the 3 items that she said were her checklist for picking a song. Melody, lyrics, relatability, or tone, pitch, and instrumentation. Make your selection and hit the Submit. No matter what, Reba fought through to accomplish her goals. She said to you in the last video that she faced many heartaches. One of her hardest lessons was to continue on through a huge tragedy that she went through during her music career. She teaches us through this video that we should cherish every single day. Let's watch and find out what that tragedy was that she went through.
was in 1991, March of 91, and we were playing a private show in San Diego, California. And after the show, we had 2 hawkers that were out at the airport, the FBO, and it was Brown Field in San Diego. That was the airport. And Narvel and Sandy Spica, who was my stylist, who did my hair and my clothes, Narvel and Sandy and I were going to stay all night there in San Diego and fly the next morning or the next day to Fort Wayne, Indiana for our concert the next night. And so the other 2 hawkers, airplanes, were at Brown Field, and my band and part of my crew, the rest of the crew was already in Indiana, we're going to split up in these 2 planes and fly to Fort Wayne, Indiana. And so one of them took off, and when the other one took off, the tip of the wing of the airplane hit a rock on the side of Otay Mountain. And it killed everyone on the plane. And when we were notified, Narvel went and had met with our pilot, and he told us what had happened, and Narvel came back to the hotel room where I was, and he said, it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and he said, one of the planes have crashed. And I said, are they okay? He said, I don't think so. I said, but you're not sure? He said, I don't think so. So in my mind, any minute now, we're going to get a call. They're all right. Well, that call never came. And so it was the rest of the night, Narvel was going room to room with the phone and calling. Sorry. It's been 20 years. It's just like, I don't guess it ever quits hurting. But I can see that room. I can see Narvel walking back and forth, and I'm trailing him, bawling, and he turns to me and says, Reba, you got to go in the other room. I've got to call these people. Because he had to let them know before it got out on the news. He didn't want them to find out from the newscast. And so I went in the other room and I called Barbara Mandrill because I had taken Kirk Capello, my musical director. I had gotten him from her. She was very close to Kirk, and I wanted her to know from me that he had died in a plane crash. So it was the worst thing that's ever happened in my life. But I just can't imagine Jim's family, Kirk's family, Joey, Paula Gates, all the band that we lost, the pilots, their family. I lost friends. They lost family members. Very talented, fun people to be around. And it was one of those situations where Narvel said, you know, we've got the rest of the tour. And I was like, are you kidding? I really thought it was over. I didn't know how on earth the rest of the band, Pete Finney and Joe McGlohan and myself, could get back on stage without the rest of them. And I got calls from Vince Gill. He said, buddy, I'll be on stage with you. I'll help you. Dolly Parton should take my band. It was a huge outpour of friends in the community, family, that were there for us. But nobody could replace the ones that we love so much that we lost. And that's one of the questions I'll ask God when I get up there. Why'd you take them so quick? They had so much more to give. And we had so much more to learn from them. But we learned from that situation. And the biggest thing that I learned is, don't go a day without telling people you love them. And do act like this day could be your last one. So do what you want to do. And the fact of hanging out with your family, do things that are important. Don't put it off till tomorrow.
So even after the tragedy, she came to the realization that the show must go on. What heartache has she suffered? She mentioned several things that she's been through. Do you remember what those were? If you do, Mark your answer here and hit the submit. Your options are members of her band died in a plane crash, divorce, failures, or all of the above. In closing, the most valuable lesson that we can learn from Reba McEntire is to stay true to your goals and never stop believing you can achieve them. Again, if you have not listened to Reba McEntire's music, I recommend you do so and try to find a song that you can enjoy and make a connection with Reba.